Well, welcome back. You're watching our press preview. I'm joined once again by Kevin Maguire from The Mirror and Kate Ferguson from The Sun on Sunday. Hear more from both of you in just a moment. But first of all, Wimbledon is well underway now with some of the biggest tennis stars already on court. And after a series of protests targeting sporting events, security has been tight this year, with huge queues outside the Grand Slam's entrance as stewards searched bags. But today, Just Stop Oil protesters made it in, throwing orange confetti during two separate matches. Sadia Chowdhury has this report.
There's a new way to disrupt play here at Wimbledon. This is Grigor Dimitrov's match against Sho Shimabukuro. Just Stop Oil had threatened a summer of disruption. The ball boys and girls on court 18 had to do the cleaning up.
Obviously, it's not pleasant. I mean, in the end of the day, there's not much you can do. I think everyone, in a way, did their part as quick as possible.
Hours later, another protest. This time, Katie Boulter's first-round match. The environmental group says the real contest is between humanity and oil and gas. Katie Boulter must surely rather be just playing tennis.
It was obviously a really tough situation. I have a lot of sympathy for them, but at the same time, it's a tennis match and I want to play tennis, and it was obviously a little bit uncomfortable, but we moved through it, and hopefully that can be resolved going forward, and I'll just stick to the tennis.
Security had been beefed up here after a spate of protests at other high-profile sporting events this summer. The All England club says that arrests have been made here and those protesters have been removed from the grounds. And both matches did eventually resume. Just like it did at Lord's last week, after Just Stop Oil disrupted the second Ashes cricket test. In fact, the only thing that doesn't completely stop is the oil and the protests against it.
The easiest way to just stop oil is to just stop new oil. And we will leave the tennis courts, we'll leave the road as soon as the government make that meaningful statement to end all new oil and gas.
No regrets then from Just Stop Oil. It prompted the Home Secretary to host a high-level roundtable. Police leaders, British sporting bodies, event organisers. They may also find bolstered support now from sports fans. Sadia Chowdhury, Sky News, at the Wimbledon Championships in London.
So let's take a look at how the papers are covering this. There we are. Page 3 of the Express includes pictures of the players helping to pick up confetti dropped by protesters. And back page of the Metro focusing on the former Wimbledon winner, Katie Boulter. She's through to the second round after victory earlier today, after also helping pick up the bits. Kevin, subterfuge today they used, didn't they? A jigsaw box.
Bought at Wimbledon, the tennis Wimbledon box, which now the club have stopped selling in their shop. Look, I'm with them on the cause, absolutely on the cause. I think they're going to lose. We're going to lose because I think the government is going to give authority for the new Rosebank field to be explored, which is about 100 miles, I think, west of Shetland. 300 million barrels of oil, they say, in some time in the future. And Labour would have signalled they would carry through with it. But the problem, I think, here, and I am with their cause, is I'm not sure it's about the cause. It's people are just reacting badly against them, and it's all about them doing the disruption. It's not really that cause. But then, how do you stop them? Because they are totally non-violent. You've got to remember that. You can have all these searches, airline type checks, but they're not carrying weapons unless you count confetti and a jigsaw puzzle as weapons. They're not. It's impossible to detect. It's also surprising the ages. At least two of them were in the back end of their 60s. That they don't resist arrest. Can they annoy people disrupting events? Yes, certainly. Whether it's the snooker or the tennis, or whether it's rugby or whether it's cricket. It was a different group at the Grand National, but it's very difficult when people are motivated like this. It's going to carry on, I think, for some time.
Yeah, and lots of people are really concerned about climate and heating oceans, heating atmospheres, and everything. So, is it right to get the police just to have stronger powers to tackle these groups or this group, or to do more about it more verbally now? You got a sense from Rishi Sunak in the liaison committee earlier this week that the parameters have changed because of the cost of living crisis, Katie. Kate, rather.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the public are pretty fed up with these protesters, if I'm honest. They keep interrupting these big sporting events, or they're slow marching down the street causing tailbacks. Kevin will know they're always outside Parliament, aren't they, slow marching, Kevin? And I mean, it's nothing to do with the cause. I mean, I think that they're the worst proponents for their cause. No one likes climate change. There's basically agreement that it needs to be tackled, but this kind of obstructive protests that just ruin not just people's fun day out at the cricket or the racing or the tennis now, but indeed people just going about their everyday lives, ambulances trying to get down the road, commuters trying to get into work. I just think this does absolutely nothing for their cause. And I'm surprised Kevin says he's surprised that some of the protesters are so old. I thought half these protesters were just retired university professors with too much time on their hands, really.
It's a great stereotype. I think they come from all sorts.
Great stereotype. Well, the stereotype is that they're all youngsters, isn't it? These are all people that have lived their life, bought their homes, enjoyed their holiday, own their cars, and they just suddenly they feel very strongly about it, apparently.
Yeah, they're concerned about the future of the planet. They don't want their kids and grandkids to fry. I just wonder if they've evolved their tactics and they realise, I think the most counterproductive is blocking roads where people are trying to get to work, hospital, whatever they're doing. And you can be there accused of blocking ambulances, fire tenders and so on. If you target sport the way they are, that doesn't happen. Yes, you spoil it for the people who've gone there, but you do get on TV. My point is to become counterproductive. You don't take people with your argument. You
don't take anyone with your argument, and it's not like this stuff isn't getting on TV anyway. Everyone knows about climate change. Everyone's talking about how do we protect the environment while
I'm sorry, Kate, they're not they're really not at the moment, are they? They're worried about how you get gas more cheaply and how you can afford to, drive your car wherever you need to be, whether it's to the school or to the hospital or whatever. But we're not really talking about climate at all at the moment.
We are. Both political parties talk quite a lot about what investment they're going to do in green energy. They talk quite a lot about green jobs or whatever. I mean, our readers at The Sun are quite in favour of more onshore wind farms and things. We're very in favour of pro-green development. But, I mean, I think that stuff does get talked about loads. I don't really understand this argument that pretends it doesn't. It's constantly
if the government is going to give the legal green light to explore this field, which won't come on stream for hopefully towards the end of my lifetime, anyway, not for a long time, possibly decades. Is it really going for its commitments, or is it just sticking on carbon? As the spokesperson said, I thought, right, if you stop developing new fields, you don't give the go ahead, they'll go away. They'll stop the disruption.
Yeah, well, it's called the transition period.
That new field that Labour agrees with too, Kevin.
Oh, no, I pointed that out earlier. Labour will go, if authority is given for that field, Labour will stick with it. No, absolutely. There's not a political point.
To be honest, I just don't think this is an either or. The reality is that you're going to have to keep using fossil fuels until you find viable replacements, and they're commercially viable, and they can be a genuine alternative. As in, you develop both, and eventually you will just shift. This idea that you can sort of shut down society until you invent something entirely pure, run on wind and water, it's just for the birds.
Okay,
Kevin well knows, actually.
We need to move on.
I was going to say the birds also now, you develop this field, it doesn't necessarily bring down prices in the UK because it's an international market and all the product will go elsewhere.
Well, wherever the slightly older Just Stop Oil protester is, who's pictured in the Daily Express, wherever he is right now, he'll be delighted because it's worked. We're talking about it. There you go. Anyway, lots more stuff to come. We will have a full run-through of tomorrow's papers after this. Back in a moment.